Welcome to South Lafourche Driving School Parent Orientation. We want you to know that parents can help and you are the key to success. Thank you for choosing South Lafourche Driving School. Here at South Lafourche, we are dedicated to teaching students the attitude and skills needed for safe driving. We have serviced the South Louisiana community for nearly 20 years. We pride ourselves on providing quality driver education services to the South Louisiana community at an affordable price. James Suttle has been the owner as well as the instructor of South Lafourche Driving School since its opening nearly 20 years ago. You can now find our parent orientation online in order to keep all parents aware of the expectations of South Lafourche Driving Education Program. South Lafourche wants you and your children to understand how important the program is and also how you as parents play an important role in it. We know your schedules are extremely busy, but we hope that you will be able to set aside some time for this program. Statistics show that the more practice a student gets with you as a coach, the better chance they have of being good drivers. We, as driving education professionals, can teach the basics of maneuvering a vehicle, but it is up to all of us to help our young teen drivers make choices that will help them and others stay safe when they eventually have to drive by themselves. South Lafourche Driving School strives to ensure all students are well aware of the rules of the road as well as being defensive drivers and making good decisions. During the instructional days in the classroom, there are many topics we will discuss in order to fully prepare the students for what is coming up. Distractions and impaired driving will be just a few topics that we will be spending lots of time on in order to help the students realize what needs to be done to keep everyone safe on the road. Some of our focused topics throughout the presentation are going to be parents are the key, some facts about teen driving. We will talk about Louisiana's graduated licensing program and what that entails. Teaching by example, understanding your new role as a driving coach. Frequently asked questions, and also how can South Lafourche Driving School help you? Having young teens sometimes make us as parents feel like that we are not a priority in their lives. There are many other things that take precedence over us, such as friends, social media, Snapchat, Twitter, music, their sports that they love, even homework, and then of course parents come last. But actually, we need to understand and realize that your child needs you more than ever, even if they do not quite know it yet. Did you know that car crashes are the leading cause of death for teens in the United States? The most dangerous time of a teen driver's life is in the first few months after receiving their license. The leading cause of distraction for teens is cell phone usage. Studies show that young drivers are 2 to 3 times more likely than older drivers to text or email while trying to drive at the same time. In 2012, 37% of 15 to 20-year-olds and 37% of 21 to 24-year-old male drivers involved in fatal crashes were because they were speeding. And 16 to 24-year-olds are the highest age group to drink and drive. We will now discuss the Louisiana's graduated licensing program and what this involves. At 14 years and 9 months, this is going to be the minimum age that a child must be before they can begin to take the 30 classroom hours of the 38-hour class. 30 is the number of hours that the child does have to spend in a driver education classroom. Here is what that 30 hours will consist of. Chapter 1, Introduction to Driving. Chapter 2, Vehicle Components and Operation. Chapter 3 is about the perception and risk management. Chapter 4 is traffic laws, and Chapter 5 is the driver's behavior. Then Chapter 6 will be sharing the road. Chapter 7, attention. Chapter 8, respect and responsibility. And Chapter 9, defensive driving. The behind the wheel will be an overview of what behind the wheel instruction may look like. 8 is the amount of hours the students will have to drive with a driving instructor. The student must be 15 years old before they can begin driving. Under the graduated licensing program, here is what possibly 8 of those hours may look like. approximately 2 hours on rural roads in small towns in Terrebonne and Lafourche, about 2 hours on major highways within Terrebonne, Lafourche, St. Mary, or even St. Charles parishes, about 3 hours on city roads that may be in Houma, Thibodaux, or Morgan City, and approximately 30 minutes in parking lots. Typically on the second, third, or possibly even the fourth classroom day, the drivers will visit the classroom in order to schedule the student's driving time. Continuing with the graduated licensing program, 180 days is the amount that they will have their instructional permit while driving with a parent or guardian. Please be advised that there must be 50 total hours, with 15 of those 50 have to be driven at night. If you are 17 years old or older, you do not have to have the 180 days of supervision. Once the student has successfully completed the 38-hour class with an 80% or better on the Office of Motor Vehicles written test and a 70% on the in-vehicle instruction, they can proceed to the OMV. The graduated licensing program is more than just a set of numbers. It is a powerful tool. It helps to battle your teen's most dangerous adversary, their own inexperience. Teaching by example, understanding and knowing your new role as a coach. What does it mean to be a driving coach to your teen? Make sure you form a partnership before you start your journey as their driving coach. These are some tips that you can do to make sure that it is successful. Give guidance in a calm and clear voice. Give directions well in advance. Discuss the goals of what will be expected before you go out and drive. Once a goal has been mastered, make sure you continue to practice it. Remain alert but not tense. Your teen will notice if you are tense. If you or your teen becomes tense, take a break. Be sure your teen knows to let you know if they do not understand. At the end of each practice, evaluate their practices. Have fun with each practice and be safe. Set a good example. Teens are going to get examples of driving from movies that they watch, social media that they're a part of, their friends that they drive with, and of course TV. But no one has more influence over their future driving than what you do as their parent. Continue to set a good example by not speeding. You may think nothing of occasionally pushing the speed limit, but did you know that your young passengers are paying attention and emulating your behavior as a driver? 88% say that their parents speed, and 94% of those parents actually admit to speeding themselves with their teen in the vehicle. To continue setting a good example, make sure that you wear your seatbelt. Many deaths are the result of not wearing a seatbelt. And as we can see from the chart, Louisiana has a high percentage of deaths resulted because of people not wearing their seatbelts in a motor vehicle crash. Put down the cell phone. Authorities have continuously fought to reduce distracted driving by cell phone use, even before AAA noted that 60% of car crashes involving teenagers occur because these drivers are talking on the phone, texting, or are otherwise distracted. The LSU University's Highway Safety Research Group logged that approximately 137,000 crashes in the state were in 2016. Of those, about 972 were caused by drivers using a phone, and 331 of those wrecks involved some type of injury. Stay calm. No one likes being endangered by other drivers' sloppiness, but as the adult, swearing, yelling, or voicing your frustration in other ways with your teen in the car could lead them to very well do the same. Allowing your emotions to run high while behind the wheel can distract new drivers from driving safely. Teens engage in aggressive driving fueled by anger may be starting a pattern that could carry through their lives. Do you follow the rules with your teen in the vehicle? Maybe we need to ask ourselves, do we come to a full stop at every stop sign? Do you always use your turn signals? Do you leave proper following distance? Do you always obey the speed limits? If we answer no to many of these questions, is it time to maybe brush up on the basic rules of the road so we can set those good examples to our teens? You are your child's best teacher. You are your child's best example. You are your child's best chance at surviving. You have to become the driver that you do want your teen to be. We hope that you have found the slides to be informative of this process your child is about to embark on. The following slides will be frequently asked questions. However, there may be a question that we do not address, and if we do not, please contact the office so you can get the proper answer. When do I pay for driver's ed? $150 is due by the first day of driving. The remainder is due the last day of driving. Acceptable forms of payment are check, cash, credit card, which you can pay online. What do you do during the 8 hours of behind the wheel training with an instructor? Your child will get many experiences driving with their instructor. They will get rural, urban, and city driving practice. They will also practice in parking lots and any other experiences that the driver sees fit for each child. Does my teen's 8 hours with the instructor count toward the 50 hours of supervised driving with me? No, the 8 hours of driving with a South Lafourche driving instructor does not count toward the 50 hours that is needed with the parents. Is there a paper certificate at the end of the class? One is not given at the end of the 30 classroom hours, but there is a paper certificate of completion that is given when the full 38 hours is successfully completed. What do they need to bring to the OMV to get a permit or a license after completing the 38-hour course? Proof of identity. A detailed list of accepted documents is available on expresslane.org. A driver's ed certificate of completion. A certificate of required school attendance form, and you can obtain this from the office from your school that you attend. Payment in approximately $32 and could be a fee up to $6. You can pay by cash, e-check, money order, debit card, or even credit card. You must be able to pass a vision screening. This list of items can also be found in the parent packet that you are giving on the first day of class. How will we schedule my child's 8-hour driving test? On the second or third class day, the driving instructors will visit the classroom and schedule a day and time to begin the behind the wheel instruction. Please talk with your child on days that you can drive so we can get you scheduled as soon as possible. Please keep in mind that if you have to cancel for any reason, it will set you back in when you'll be able to get your temporary instructional permit. If my child fails the in-car driving test, can they retake it the next day? If your child would happen to score under the minimum of 70% during the 8-hour driving test, you would need to get them additional practice with a driving instructor, which would be a minimum of 4 hours, and then they can retest again. How can South Lafourche Driving School continue to help you? If you need help registering for a class, go to our website, click register for class, and sign up the class that is most convenient for you. If you still need help, you can also text or call 985-991-0087. Please note that at the parent meeting on the first day of class, all parents will be filling out additional forms that are needed. If you need to make up a class day that you missed, you can find another class that will be coming up that you can attend and attend only the class day that you missed. For example, if you missed the third class day, then you would want to find another class and attend that third class day only. When can I schedule the road skills test? When you have fulfilled all the classroom behind the wheel hours as well as any hours needed for the tip permit, you can call us and we can schedule the final road test before being able to get your permanent license. Please keep in mind this is an additional $40 and can be paid to the driver. You must be 16 years or older and held learner's permit for at least 180 days, or you must be 17 years old in order to schedule the road test. Your team needs you now more than ever before. Let's work together to make better and safer drivers for our roads. Please do not hesitate to contact us if you have any other questions or concerns about your child's upcoming driving experience. We look forward to going through this process together.